We had some big ideas when we moved into this apartment 2 years ago. In between then and now, we took a break from furniture-free living for a while, which we spoke more about in our Why We Were Gone for So Long and Sleeping on the Floor Again videos, which will be linked somewhere.
But we're happy to say that we're back to living on the ground again, and we're absolutely loving it. Let's take a look around and see what our place looks like now.
So this is our kitchen, not the most exciting room in the house from a furniture-free point of view. The changes since we last invited you in, we now have an adult washing machine and not a plastic twin tub. And we have a canteen for Miles, who's our new addition to the family. We've had him for about 8 months. You're not going to meet him today, unfortunately.
8 months.
18 months. We've had him for 18 months.
18 months, almost 2 years.
Yeah.
We're still packing our cupboards inconveniently. And for those of you who are new here, what we mean with that is that the things that we use on a more daily basis are at the bottom, so that you get to squat more often during the day and keep your legs and things strong, so you pick up your things and keep going. And that we learned that from
Katie Bowman. She runs I think she's a biokineticist, but she runs a website called Nutritious Movement. And we've learned a lot of stuff from her, which we will link in the description. Those things we pack up there out of necessity because we don't have space, but it's actually quite handy because it forces you to reach up and stretch, so it's also a movement you don't get to do a lot.
And those three things over there, the blender, this is a sandwich toaster thingy, and the steamer we use daily, pretty much daily. What do you call that?
It's a slow cooker without electricity.
Yeah.
We'll demo that one day.
Yeah, that's really cool. So you boil something for a few minutes and you put it in there and it cooks on its own. But we don't use that daily. That was my point.
Yeah. And I think that's everything from a furniture-free point of view. We had high hopes for this balcony when we moved in here. We planned like a whole garden, and we imagined all sorts of things. But what we didn't anticipate was the wind that comes here. We knew that it was shady, and we were going to figure that out.
We did actually. We got plants that worked that could survive shady environments. But the wind is so crazy here. I think our plants, you can see all the empty pots, they lasted like a month.
It was a month,
Yeah.
and they were all dead.
Yeah.
So we put in this artificial grass, and we went and fetched a log for Miles, which he ignores studiously.
We thought he might use it to sharpen his claws, but you'll see when we do the lounge, he's got one of those artificially made sticks that is his favorite.
Yeah, so we sit out here sometimes when the weather's quite nice, and we have coffee or tea or something to eat. But mostly Miles sits here and he just enjoys the view. So it didn't turn out the way we expected, but you know,
but
Miles enjoys it, so
he does.
That's all that really matters. The two biggest changes you'll notice between this tour and the one that we did before when we first moved in is that we put carpets in and we installed the wall desk. That's the big white thing that's standing behind Sporty at the moment. In the previous video we put in a a wall desk that we imagined, a picture of a wall desk, and I wasn't able to find that, and we found this.
I'll just open it so you can see. It's actually quite smart.
It's actually very clever. It's a local company, and they make things where it's really nice from a minimalist point of view because it has more than one purpose. And I guess if we had 2 chairs, we could even use it as a little dining room table as well. But it's turned into, it's great for all our tech storage. And in the beginning, when we first went furniture free, it was cool. And as we mentioned in the last video, we wanted to get an exercise ball, which we did. But I think I imagined one thing and it didn't work out for me, really.
Yeah. So we have a chair in the corner that we put at the desk. And then we basically alternate at the moment, but the plan is to get two floor desks.
Yeah.
And we'll show you the floor desk just now.
Yeah, because once you get used to working on the floor, you actually don't enjoy. I really don't like sitting at the actual desk anymore. It doesn't feel comfortable or natural.
Yeah, and also you don't move as much. You know, when you're sitting on the floor, you change your seating positions quite a bit.
So anyway, that's now become a bit of a white elephant, but it's still good from a storage point of view.
Yeah. This is what I mentioned earlier. This is Miles's very favourite second scratch post that he's had. In fact, I think he's got more furniture than we do.
Yeah, he's already ruined one scratch post and now he's on to his second one. We had to donate it to the shelter and ask them to fix it up. And then he's got his cushions over there that he usurped from us. So now we just sit on the floor. Yeah. So the other big expense or big change was putting in the carpets. And in the previous video, we said we were going to put down gym mats. And I mean, I don't know who we were kidding because cold and uncomfortable.
Such a bad idea. Mm. Yeah, very cold, very uncomfortable. And they don't actually fit together nicely.
No, the expensive ones that you get at the gym do, but I mean those were they were expensive and so uninviting and unfriendly. So we got the idea after we saw a lady downstairs had put in carpets, and we said, okay, let's put in carpets. And it's the
best money.
It's the best money we've ever spent. We just enjoy sitting on the floor now. So this is where we are. Can you see me lolling about?
No, they can't see you anymore, but I'll stay standing so you've got something to look at.
I'm here lolling on the floor.
And then
it's so lovely.
When Lolly gets up, I'll lie down. Lolly number 2.
See?
This is the best. This was the best thing we ever did.
Yeah.
If you want to go furniture free, get carpets.
You have to get carpets, and I don't know in other parts of the world, but in South Africa, electricity is expensive.
Yeah.
And they don't build houses with things like double glazing or whatever. So even though our winters aren't the worst compared to say Canada, it's flippin' freezing in here in winter because our homes aren't properly heated. And
they're not heated or insulated.
Well, you have to do it yourself, and then it's too expensive. So the way they built it, you saw in the other video, it was just tiles. It was so cold.
Yeah, those tiles threw out. Those kitchen tiles were threw out.
We've still got our lazy boys, by the way.
Oh yeah, these things have also lasted.
They're a little bit worse for wear. So these are our lazy boys, and this is where we spend, I don't know, sometimes we meditate from here. We basically use them if we're feeling lazy, like on a Friday evening, maybe we want to enjoy a glass of wine and enjoy the view, then we'll use these things. But actually most of the time, we're just sitting like this.
Yeah, just on the floor.
Just on the floor. Oh, and this is an interesting thing. This is how we've gotten strong because of Furniture Free. I was thinking today, we went to our community meditation, and when we first started doing it, I always had to sit next to a wall because it's like an hour long. And now I can just sit like this the entire time, and I don't get in the least bit sore, and I'm not slouching or anything, I don't think.
No, nice and straight.
Thank you. But this is what you were meaning earlier about being able to move more.
So when you're sitting on the floor, you know, working on the, I'll just show you the floor desk. So this is our little floor desk, fabulous thing.
Little bamboo.
Yeah. So actually, it's this way around. So you know, if you're sitting working, then like if you get a bit stiff or whatever, you'll just like swing a leg out to the side. I don't know if you can see that. Oops. And sit like that for a while, and then
Or like this.
yeah, you straighten your legs out.
This was another thing that I couldn't do before. I always had to sit with my knees bent, but now I've got more flexibility in the back of my legs, so I can quite comfortably sit like this.
Yeah, I remember in the last video when I was showing this position, I had one of those cushions stacked under my left hip to get it up because I was still quite stiff. But now I can just sit like this for a pretty long time.
Yeah, it depends which side I'm on. This one is not as flexible. This one is easier.
Yeah,
but.
And I mean, I guess some people that can squat, I can squat, but I can't sit like that for a long time. But I know some people like to sit in a squat, and I guess you could do that as well.
That I learned the ground living from, he sits like, he sits like this with his laptop on the floor. Like, I mean, that's next level. We're not quite there yet. We couldn't do these squats before. When we were sort of like in this.
Yeah, with the heels off the surface.
Like that, and we couldn't balance, and we had to try and do it in a door frame.
I'm still not like as accomplished as that. I struggle to actually get into the position from here. So I found it easier to start weirdly at the top and then go down, and then I'm fine. But I can't do it from down here. Then if I do it like that, then for whatever reason my heels come off the ground. When we bought our flat, we had these great plans of installing monkey bars, and I think we mentioned it in our last video. But then we realized if we ever wanted to sell it, it would probably not go down too well with
the prospective buyers.
Yeah. And it would probably be an extra expense to reset the flat after that. So we didn't do that.
Yeah, but
sadly.
Fortunately, there is a gym in our complex if we do ever feel the need to hang around.
Yeah.
And do other stuff that we can't do in our flat. So it worked out fine in the end.
Exactly.
And then you'll also notice the other piece of furniture that we have that we didn't have in our when we first bought the flat was this. It's a very plain little bookshelf, and it's purely decorative. We got it as a gift of sorts, I guess, and we decided that it would actually be helpful because we prescribe to feng shui, and one of the things they say is that you need a health corner, which is green, and if you're furniture free, you can't have that stuff on the floor. So we got our little green bookshelf, and we love it.
Yes.
So we mentioned Miles, but he's sleeping at the moment. There's a lump in the bed here, which is the kitty. But to make up for the fact that you can't meet him today, I've got some very special footage that I'm going to tack on to the end of this video. So make sure you stick around to the end to see that.
So this is our bedroom. We basically, as you can see, we don't have a bed. We have 2 camping mattresses, which can be rolled up. They're super light and they can be moved around. And weirdly, it's much more comfortable than sleeping on like a regular mattress.
Yep.
We did a video about this and why we sleep on the floor, so we'll link to that.
Yeah.
And there's a good reason why we sleep on the floor.
Yeah, because there's a benefit to, in the morning I'm a bit creaky and then I have to help myself up, but it's better than Like if you're on a bed and you just swing your legs over, it makes you lazy.
Yeah.
Whereas this, you're all the way down here, and then you have to get up.
I mean, even if you creak and you can't get up easily, it's going to make you stronger. You know, sometimes I don't get up like that. Let me do a little creaky old lady demonstration. So sometimes if I'm struggling with my back or whatever, I'll often just get onto my knees and then try and not use my hands to get up. I mean, I try and do what she did earlier as much as possible, but sometimes, some mornings it doesn't work.
Yeah, but watch that other video, which Sporty will link for you somewhere, and then you can see more about the bedroom, but it's not very exciting because...
It's very exciting. You really want to watch it.
Miles has this cute little cat cave, which during the day doubles as a, what do you call it?
Basket.
As a basket.
So those are, as we said earlier, he's got more furniture than us. So those are actually 2 furnitures. How many furnitures is that now?
Okay, so let's talk about the benefits of furniture-free living. Why would you go and ditch all your furniture? The most obvious is that it makes you stronger and more flexible.
Yep. The second one that I love the most, it's not the second one on our list, but I love it the most, is that it makes your moving so easy.
Yeah, that is a huge bonus.
Yeah. Some of our moves when we've been furniture-free, we've been able to move ourselves in our car.
Yeah, definitely. That's a huge bonus. And then housework is an absolute breeze. I mean, it takes no time at all to clean our flat because there's not that much stuff to move.
Yeah. And then obviously there's so much more space in your home, you know, less clutter, because when you have furniture, weirdly it attracts clutter. You end up having ornaments and things that you put places and whatever.
Yeah, that's actually true. I never thought about that. But it's...
Gold star go.
It's true. It just feels so spacious and lovely when we come home. It's a really nice feeling.
Yeah.
But I guess going back to the first point, that's probably one of the main reasons that you would adopt this lifestyle, is because it makes you so strong.
Yeah.
And you can only have a good old age if you adopt a ground living lifestyle.
Yeah, physically for sure.
Yeah. There you have it, a bunch of benefits.
Yep. So that's it. A quickish tour of our apartment, highlighting furniture-free living. What did you think? Could you live like this? Do you have any suggestions on how we can improve it?
Leave a comment below and let us know what you think. We'd love to hear from you.
And also look at the community tab. We're running a poll at the moment to see what videos we should be making next. So we'd love to hear from you on that one.
Otherwise, we'll see you again in the next video for more simple living
escapades.
Bye.
Rolling. Director Bush.
Okay, so let's talk about what are the...
Sorry, start again because I'm watching the screen, of course. I'm watching myself.
It was my bad.
I think we should do a jingle for that. You know, in the old, like in the 40s, 50s. Escapades. Simple living escapades.
You can do the jingle. If I do the jingle,
Maybe I should do a poll. Do you want to hear a jingle, like a proper jingle? But it'll have to be singing because we're not musicians.
Okay,
we're not singers either.
we're just rabbiting on. Is this fine? Are we happy with that?
Yes.
Okay.
Bye.